pear. Pear belongs to the family Rosaceae. Its scientific name is Pyrus communis. It is native to coastal and mildly temperate regions of the Old World. By Old World, we mean that Africa, Asia, and Europe. Um, it is an important fruit crop of temperate region. It can be grown at 17 to 2400 meter above mean sea level. Due to its wider adaptability of climate and soil, pear can be grown in subtropical and temperate regions. Pear wood is one of the preferred materials in the manufacture of high quality woodwind instruments, and by woodwind instruments we refer to flute and saxophone. History. Pear cultivation in cool, temperate climates extends to the remotest antiquity, and there is evidence of its use as a food since prehistoric times. Many traces of it have been found in prehistoric pile dwellings around Lake Zurich. The pear was also cultivated by the Romans, who ate the fruits raw or cooked, just like apples. The genus is thought to have originated in the present-day Western China in the foothills of the Tian Shan, which is a mountain range of Central Asia, and to have spread to the north and south along mountain chains, evolving into a diverse group of over 20 widely recognized primary species. Production. There are 6 main states in the US that produce pears: California, Michigan, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Washington. Of these states, California, Oregon, and Washington make up the majority of production, produce 378 million pounds valued at $88.6 million. In 2017, world's production of pears was 24 million tons, with China as the main producer. China is the world's leading pear producer. Total area under pear fruit in Pakistan is 1820 hectares, giving production. However, only in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, pear holds an acreage of 1589 hectares. In Punjab, pear cultivation is confined to some areas of temperate climate on an area of 13 hectares only. Varieties. According to Pear Bureau Northwest, about 3,000 known varieties of pears are grown worldwide. However, in Pakistan, there are 9 pear varieties, which are Leconte, Bagu Gosha, Bartlett pear, Concord, pear selection 1, pear red, pear white, Kashmiri Nashpati, and Kashmiri Nag. Then varieties all over the world: green Anjo, red Anjo, Bartlett, red Bartlett, Boss, Concord, Sickle, Comis, Forel, and Star Crimson. These are some of the varieties of pear all over the world. Then varieties in Pakistan. Leconte pear. The Leconte pear tree is an old North Carolina variety that produces bell-shaped fruit that is bright yellow with a pink overlay. In the fall, the yielding large crops of fruit ready to be eaten fresh. Babu Gosha pear. The Babu Gosha, a variety of pear, is a mild, sweet fruit with a fibrous center, suitable to grow in areas with temperature less than 35 degrees centigrade. Bartlett pear. Bartlett pears are medium to large in size and are the only pears that have a true piriform. A true piriform means a true pear shape, which has a rounded, large bottom half and tapers to a smaller curved neck with a light brown, slender stem. Concord pear. Concord pears are small to medium in size with a large round base that tapers into a long, narrow, and pointed neck. The smooth neck is green yellow with patches of red blushing and a golden brown russeting connecting to a brown stem. The white to ivory flesh is dense, firm, and moist. Russeting means reddish brown in color. Pear red. The color of red angios varies from pear to pear. However, they are generally dark maroon in color, sometimes with light vertical streaks of color that were naturally created by the sun while the pear was still on the tree. Kashmiri Nashpati. It is juicy as a honeydew. The organic pear from Kashmir is an all-purpose pear that holds up well when cooked, but its juice as good right of the tree. It is a fruit having green colored skin with rounded bottle-like shape. These are sweet, crunchy, and mild flavored fruits with granular texture. Nut Kashmiri. This variety gets the name from its grained flesh, a conical shaped, small to medium sized variety with crisp, white, and juicy flesh. The skin is thick and green in color that turns yellow on ripening. These are some of the varieties that are found in Pakistan. Then production technology, climate. In general, the pear tree thrives in cold and wet climate where there is winter cold along with a cool summer. It is estimated that the popular pear varieties need 4 to 800 hours of cold with the temperature below 45 degree Fahrenheit or 7 degree centigrade in order to have a regular development and fruition. However, there are varieties that may require up to 1500 hours of cold for successful fruit set, while others can produce fruit sets after just 150 hours. Abundant sunlight is necessary as it significantly affects the color of the fruit. Most popular varieties thrive in regions where the temperature rarely increases well above 32. Some pear farmers also make use of big fans in order to cool the orchard when the temperature exceeds a certain point. Propagation. Like most fruit trees, contemporary cultivation methods suggest that pear trees are propagated by grafting. If we start pear trees from seeds of a known variety, those trees will produce fruit in 7 to 10 years, while the harvested fruits will be significantly different than the initial fruit. Consequently, professional pear farmers choose grafted rootstocks in order to achieve product uniformity and quality. In a few words, professional pear growers plant a pear tree that is combination of two different plant tissues, which is a rootstock and a side stalk. Grafting is done in December, January, tea budded in May, June. And the rootstock determines the tree's final height and can protect them from soil-borne diseases. The sign and the rootstock must be carefully selected, and each one of them may result in poor production otherwise. Pollination. Most pear tree varieties are not self-fertile. This means that most trees need pollination partners of a different variety. Even the self-fertile pear varieties are reported to produce higher yields when a pollination partner tree is planted at a close distance. Pear growers often plant pollinating cultivars that are compatible and flower at closely the same time as the commercial cultivars. It is also important to place the pollinating cultivars at different spots of the orchard so as to ensure adequate cross-pollination. Pear trees need bees at a greater percentage in order to pollinate and produce fruits. In commercial farms, placing 3 beehives every 2 5 acres or 1 hectare of orchard has been found to be beneficial. Soil preparation. The pear tree can thrive in an average soil with a pH close to 7, provided that is well drained and free from stagnated water. However, maximum yields are reported on fertile, loamy, sandy soils with a pH ranging from 6 to 7. The pH should not be more than 8.7. Many commercial apple and pear farmers add lime to the soil before planting their trees in order to fix the pH. First, we have to carefully plow the field in depth of at least 20 inches and to remove all the weeds. Then we can add about 10 to 20 tons manure per hectare and then plow again superficially. Sowing. Time of sowing. Planting is completed in January month. 1 year old plants are used for planting. Spacing. Plants are planted at a distance of 8 by 4 meter. Before planting, clear land and remove remains of earlier plants, then level land properly and give gentle slope for a water drainage. Sowing depth. Dig a pit of 1 by 1 meter size and fill pits 1 month before planting in November month with topsoil and add well-rotten farmyard manure and then allow it to settle. Finally, pit should be filled with subsoil mixed with 10 to 15 kg of well-decomposed cow dung, 500 kg of SSP, and drench the pit with chloropyrifos, um, 50 ml per 10 liter of water per pit. After planting, irrigation should be done. Method of sowing. For planting, square or rectangular planting can be adopted. In hilly areas, contour system of planting is used for cultivation. Fertilizer requirement. Mature fruit-bearing pear trees need more fertilizer than the young trees. Professional pear farmers often start fertilizing trees when they become 2 years old. As a common fertilization scheme used by numerous pear farmers is adding 180 lbs of nitrogen, which is 82 kg, and 140 lbs of P2O5, 110 lbs of MgO, and 400 lbs of K2O per hectare, assuming that there are 600 to 800 trees per hectare and no cover crops. These quantities are normally spread in 3 to 4 different application sessions during the year. Boron, zinc, and calcium foliar fertilizers are added according to leaf analysis. Foliar feeding programs are applied from spring until harvest, but the critical period is 5 to 7 weeks after flowering. When the crop is 1 to 3 year old, apply 10 to 20 kg of well decomposed dung, 100 to 300 gram of urea, SSP 2 to 600 gram, MOP 150 to 450 gram per tree for 4 to 6 year old crop. Applied 25 to 35 kg of cow dung, urea 4 to 600 gram, Triple S 8 to 1200 gram, and MOP 6 to 900 gram per tree. For 7 to 9 year old crop, apply cow dung 40 to 60 kg, urea 7 to 900 gram, SSP 1400 to 1800 gram, MOP 1050 to 1350 gram per tree. For 10-year and above, apply 60 kg of cow dung, urea 1000 gram, SSP 2000 gram, MOP 1500 gram per tree. Apply a whole amount of cow dung, SSP, and MOP in December month. Apply half dose of urea before flowering, that is early February, and remaining half dose after fruit set, that is in April month. The deficiency of zinc and iron on young foliage can easily be controlled by spraying 0.4 to 0.5% zinc sulfate and ferrous sulfate during April. Irrigation. The average young pear tree needs a lot of water in order to develop strong roots, leaves, and finely fruits. Young pear trees need more water than mature ones, which rely mostly on the rainwater in regions with frequent rainfalls. In regions where there are no frequent rainfalls, it is beneficial to irrigate trees about once a week from spring to autumn, that is April to May to October. Then the majority of mature pear trees need almost half of the annual water supply during summer months. On the other hand, over irrigation should be avoided, otherwise it will result in root rot. During the last 30 years, drip or micro irrigation systems were used in peer commercial orchards. However, nowadays in the United States, sprinklers are used at a greater percentage. The main advantage is the protection of tree birds from frost damage. Um, these contemporary systems normally ensure full coverage irrigation. Full coverage irrigation combined with the presence of cover crops often reduces the need of fertilizing because the cover crop normally produces organic matter that is decomposed, releasing important nutrients. Growers, this is the method how to irrigate the growers often build a circular soil wall of depth 3 to 5 feet around pear trunk and add a thin layer of mulch in it so as to increase water holding capacity of soil. The mulch should be renewed each year. Pruning and training. Healthy pear trees need minimum pruning, but effective pruning methods have been found to improve yields. In a few words, we prune young non-bearing trees in order to determine the shape and stimulate fruit development. Newly planted pear trees are often pruned even the same day they are planted according to the shape we want. Central leader and modified central leader system are the most common methods. We must remove every branch that grows vertically at an angle greater than 60 degrees. Those branches will most likely consume trees' valuable nutrients in order to grow quickly, but without being able to produce fruits. Then we should also remove downward facing branches because they will most probably break from the weight of the fruit. We may not remove more than 25% of the tree throughout the same year. It is better to prune little and often rather than removing one third of the tree during a period. Then stem thinning should be preferred over stem heading. Pear trees are pruned when in dormancy, but at least a couple of weeks after the last frost, which is February to March in most cases. We should not prune when the leaves are developing. Suckers and water sprouts are excluded. Weed control. Spray with diuron 1.6 kg per acre as pre-emergence after completing plowing. The weeds can be controlled as post-emergence by glyphosate at 1.2 liter per acre at paraquat 1.2 liter per acre in 200 liters of water when the weeds are 15 to 20 centimeter in height. Post-harvest management. First one is thinning of pear trees. Pear tree thinning is crucial in order to have a good yield and normalize the production throughout the years. It is basically done to minimize the phenomena of alternate bearing. In general, pear trees need less thinning than apple trees, but thinning is generally associated with increase in the quality of fruits that are harvested finally. Pear tree thinning takes place from late spring to early summer. The whole idea is to remove that underdeveloped, damaged fruits and those fruits invaded by pests so as to leave invaluable nutrients for the fewer healthy, normal sized fruits. As apart from hand thinning, commercial tree growers apply chemical thinning applications in the order to adjust the yield and profitability. Pear tree harvest. The average pear tree produces fruit ready to be harvested about 110 to 115 days after full bloom. In most areas of US, pear trees are harvested from late summer to autumn, which is August to October. As it happens in all fruit trees, knowing when exactly to harvest requires years of experience and constant trial and error effort. Alternatively, commercial growers can regularly check the sugar levels of the fruits in order to determine the optimum harvest time. We shall not let the pears fully ripe on the tree, as the fruit quality may deteriorate. That is, the area close to the seed gets gritty when the fruit fully matures on the tree. Pears are harvested only by hand and are very sensitive to bruising. Sorting takes place immediately after harvesting because damaged fruits release ethylene gas more quickly and this can hurt the fruit. Harvesting criteria. Fruit skin changes in pigment color to light green or slightly yellowish green. White spots, which are the lenticels on the fruit skin, change to brown. Fruit skin becomes smooth and waxy. Pear tree yield. The average yield for a mature and healthy standard height pear tree is 200 lbs, which is 90 kg, while the mature semi-dwarf tree yields on average 100 lbs, 45 kg. Packaging and storage. Pears are packaged
अच्छा,
in
ये जो
boxes and
बच्चे,
trays.
हेलो हेलो,
जी जी
यील्ड
जी
इसकी
सर.
कितने साल बाद इसके ऊपर फ्रूट आ जाता है?
सर 7 to 10 years वैरायटी पर डिपेंड करता है.
7 से 10 साल के बाद फ्रूट आता है, तो तब फार्मर को लगाने का इतने साल कैसे वो इंतजार करेगा?
सर इसकी वैरायटीज पर डिपेंड करता है ना कि कौन सी वैरायटी कितनी देर में फ्रूट देती है.
वो बताएं ना भी कौन सी वैरायटी कब है, पंजाब में कौन सी ग्रो हो रही है, उसके बेनिफिट क्या है, कॉस्ट बेनिफिट रेशियो क्या है पर एकड़. कोई हाई डेंसिटी प्लांटेशन करते हैं या लो डेंसिटी है, पर एकड़ फार्मर्स. पंजाब का जो पियर है वो कब पक जाता है, केपीके में जो होता है वो पियर वो कब मार्केट में आता है, ये बताएं थोड़ा सा इसके बारे में.
सर पंजाब में तो जब बिल्कुल जब गर्मियां एंड हो रही होती हैं उस टाइम नहीं आता, क्योंकि जाहिर सी बात है ये थोड़ा सा कोल्ड रीजन का फ्रूट है, तो उसी
तो
हिसाब से.
पंजाब में कैसे हो जाता है फिर अगर कोल्ड?
जी
पंजाब में कौन सी वैरायटी यूज होती है इसकी?
सर ये नहीं मुझे पता.
बग्गू गोशा.
जी
अच्छा,
सर.
मुल्तान में ना, इधर मुल्तान में ना लोग यूज करते हैं पियर को ना, पर एकड़
जी
यील्ड उनकी कोई वो हाई डेंसिटी पे लगा रहे हैं कुछ 7 फुट के डिस्टेंस से ना, तो
जी
कोई 900 प्लांट्स बन जाते हैं,
हाँ जी
925.
जी जी
तो तीसरे या चौथे साल वो अभी दोस्त कह रहा था कि हमारे ना हमें कोई रेट मिल जाता है को 100 रुपीज पर केजी.
जी
तो अगर उनके पास भी एक जो दरख्त है, अगर एक दरख्त के ऊपर 20 किलो पियर हो एक के ऊपर और 100
जी
उसको मिले, तो टोटल कितना एक साल में कमाया उसने? अभी बताओ मुझे, कैलकुलेट करके बताओ, सारे बताओ। एक एक पौधे से 100 रुपीज, 100 रुपीज मिलता है उसको, फार्मर को, पर केजी। और
हाँ
एक
जी
दरख्त से, पियर का जो एक दरख्त है उससे के ऊपर ऑन एन एवरेज अगर 15 से 20 किलो हम ले फ्रूट।
सर 7,30,000।
7 लाख।
30,000।
तो टोटल एक पर एकड़ कितने प्लांट है?
सर ये नहीं है, आपने मतलब आपने प्राइस बताई है ना और डेज बताए हैं।
हाँ, तो वो 100 प्राइस हो गई, ठीक है, और
सर वो
20।
हो जाएगी
हाँ
टू
जी, ये
थाउजेंड
20
हो
kg हो
जाएगी
गई।
20 और 365 डेज हो जाएंगे।
नहीं, 365 डेज।
सर पर
सर
ईयर
पर
आप बता
ईयर
रहे हैं
की
ना।
आपने।
ओहो, ये तो एक ही बार आर्चर्ड इसको हमने हार्वेस्ट करना और बस।
तो फिर तो सर अगर एक दफा होगी तो 2,000।
2000 आगे, फिर अब अगर 1 एकड़ के अंदर हमारे पास पौधे हो 900।
हाँ
सर
जी
18 लाख बनता है वैसे।
कितना?
18 लाख अगर हमारे पास 900 प्लांट्स और 20 kg पर प्लांट हो
जी।
हाँ, तो हमारे पास 18 लाख रुपया बनता है, ठीक है। तो अगर
हाँ
हम
जी
इसको 900 की बजाय कोई 800 भी कर लें, और वो 100 kg की
जी सर।
वो 80 रुपये भी ऑन एन एवरेज कर दें, तो फिर भी हिसाब लगा लो कि कितना बेनिफिट है पियर की, जो मुल्तान में लोग इसको कमा रहे हैं। और मुल्तान में इसलिए इसका बेनिफिट ज्यादा है कि जब ये केपीके में जब नाशपाती खत्म हो जाती है ना, उसके बाद ये आती है। पहले अभी पहाड़ी इलाकों से आता है फ्रूट, जब वो खत्म हो जाता है फिर मुल्तान से आता है। और हाई डेंसिटी के ऊपर लोग क्या करते हैं कि पौधे लगा के ना, वो जो होता है ना, जिसने हार्वेस्टिंग करनी होती है, आड़तिया जिसे कहते हैं, उनको तो ये बाग दे
जी
देते हैं किसान। फर्ज किया, वो उसको किसान क्या करता है, वो पूरा साल पहले ही ठेका दे देता है। वो 3 लाख में दे दे, 4 लाख में दे दे, कि उसने ना, किसान ने कह देना भी ये मेरा ऑर्चर्ड है, ये तेरे वाले, मुझे तू 4 लाख रुपया दे दे, उससे जितना कमाना है तू कमा ले। पूरा साल उसने फर्टिलाइजर डालना है, उसने सारा कुछ डालना है। किसान का काम खत्म हो गया। किसान ने एक बार लगा दिया, 3-4 साल के लिए ऑर्चर्ड लग गया। उसके बाद वो दे देता है आड़तीए को, ठीक है, जिसने फ्रूट हार्वेस्ट, पहले वो उसको सोइंग, वो पूरा साल मैनेजमेंट भी करनी है और उसने हार्वेस्टिंग करके बेचना है। वो उससे 10 लाख कमा ले, वो उससे 5 लाख कमा ले, फिर वो जो फार्मर है उसका और उसके साथ तल्लक खत्म हो जाता है, ठीक है। फार्मर को उसने एक बार, लेकिन अगर फार्मर वो हार्वेस्टिंग से लेकर मार्केटिंग तक वो खुद करे, तो फिर इतना पैसा कमा सकता है। हिसाब लगा लो, अगर ऑन एन एवरेज भी लगाए तो हम 10 लाख रुपए तक 1 एकड़ से नाशपाती के बाग से कमा सकते हैं। मेरी बात की समझ आ गई बच्चों, कि कितना
जी
अच्छा। ये अगर आप बताओ, कहीं भी नौकरी करोगे आप लोग, उससे अच्छा नहीं है कि आपका अगर कोई इस एरिया के हैं तो आप यहाँ पर ये जो है ना इसका, लेकिन इसका थोड़ा सा ज़ाहिर है कुछ ना कुछ इश्यूज भी होंगे। तो लेकिन ये है कि थोड़ा सा हमें वैरायटीज वो सिलेक्ट करनी पड़ेंगी जो इस हीट को बर्दाश्त कर सके, फिर फ्रॉस्ट को बर्दाश्त कर सके, वो चीजें।
लेकिन सर यहाँ पे तो पियर जो है मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर जो है वो बर्दाश्त कर सकता है सिर्फ 45 का, और मुल्तान में तो इससे भी ज्यादा जाता है, तो फिर कैसे वहां पे ग्रो हो रहा
मुल्तान
है
में
पियर?
ये है ना, पाकिस्तान एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च काउंसिल वालों ने ना, कि पूरे पाकिस्तान में कोई 4-5 जगह पर पियर के ऑर्चर्ड लगाए थे, एज एक रिसर्च प्रोजेक्ट था उनके पास। उन्होंने
जी
कराची, इवन सिंध का 1-2 एरिया था, एक मुल्तान में 2 बाग लगाए थे, इवन इधर उकाड़े की तरफ भी लगाए थे। लेकिन वो सबसे अच्छा जो उनका जो रिस्पॉन्स आया ना पहले यही कहा जाता था कि अब जो पीच है ना, ये यहाँ नहीं हो सकता हमारे इस इलाके में ना पियर, लेकिन अब
जी
हो रहा है। ठीक है, तो
जी
अब ये बड़ा अच्छा है, प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस है। अब इग्रानोमिक क्रॉप क्या है कि 30,000 पर एकड़ आपको वीट देती है, जो 40,000 रुपया एक साल का दे देती है। लेकिन अगर आप ऑर्चर्ड लगाते हो, अगर आपके पास बच गया, आपने 10 लाख रुपया आपको फाइनल बचा, तो आपका 3 लाख रुपया खर्चा भी आ गया पूरे साल का, तो अभी भी आपको 6-7 लाख रुपया आपको साल का बच रहा है, जो कि आप किसी भी
जी
इकोनॉमिक क्रॉप से नहीं ले सकते। बात की समझ आ गई?
जी
अगर आप लोग पढ़ने लिखने के बाद अपना ऑर्चर्ड ही लगाने को ऐसा कर ले, तो आप इतने पैसे कमा सकते हो कि आप नौकरी से नहीं कमा सकते।
हाँ जी सर।
चले जी आगे शुरू करते हैं पैकेजिंग। और पाकिस्तान से एक्सपोर्ट कहाँ कहाँ होता है, इसकी एक्सपोर्ट इश्यूज है,
सर वो आगे, जी आगे
बताएं
है।
चल।
जी packaging, pears are packaged in boxes or trays. They are also packaged in cardboard, plastic, or expanded polystyrene trays covered with plastic film. Treat fruits with 1000 ppm ethylene for 3 to 4 minutes, or expose them to 100 ppm ethylene gas for 24 hours and then store at 20 degrees. Pears are stored in cool cells and controlled atmosphere cells. They can be stored for up to 12 months with a CA, ULO storage. Here, CA stands for controlled atmosphere, which is basically meant to lower the oxygen level and increase the carbon dioxide level. And ULO stands for ultra low oxygen. Its main purpose is to lower the oxygen level. It is a gas-tight cold storage store constructed from high-quality insulated panels. Uh, They remain in good condition at a temperature of between -1 and 0, depending on the variety. In order to keep moisture loss to a minimum, pears should be stored in 90 to 95% of atmospheric humidity. Selection of pear. Ripe to fall pears are the best to pick. If the skin of fruit is bright and glossy, do give it a miss. Go for the ones that are matte golden in color, featuring a nice fragrance and having a little softness. While buying a pear, make sure that the top portion, which is close to the stem, is neither too soft nor too rigid. Then insect pest and their management. Pear psylla. The pear psylla, an aphid-like insect whose only host is the pear, is the crop's most significant insect pest. The honeydew left by the psylla damages the fruit by supporting growth of sooty mold and causing a black russeting. Pear psylla is also an important vector of fire blight and pear decline disease and can weaken the tree in areas of heavy infection. Control. Although the psylla develops resistance to insecticides, it can usually be controlled either with dormant oil sprays or with sulfur sprays, but not a combination of the two, otherwise it will damage the plants. Insecticidal soap can also reduce the active population during the growing season. Kaolin clay-based insect repellent is effective against pear psylla. The psylla also has a number of natural enemies, such as predatory flies, minute pirate bugs, and lacewing larvae that can help control pear psylla. True bugs. Stink bugs, tarnished plant bug, and other true bugs belonging to the order Hemiptera will readily feed on pears throughout the growing season. Early feeding damage may result in pucker or dimple in the fruit. Mid and late season feeding often results in the development of so-called stone cells immediately beneath the feeding site. Control. Leguminous trap crops, which are clovers, wedges, and peas, can reduce the true bug damage. Unmown areas and cover crops can also serve as habitat for predator insects. Also, some of the botanical insecticides derived from the seeds of the neem tree are effective against true bugs. Mites. In high enough numbers, pear leaf blister mites and pear rust mites can reduce the photosynthetic efficiency of leaves and cause resetting on the fruit. Both species will likely to be more troublesome in dusty condition because dust interferes with their natural predators. Another pest that contributes to poor yield and smaller fruit is the spider mite. European pear cultivars are more sensitive to mite feeding than Asian pears. Pears that are drought stressed will be more susceptible to mite damage. Predators, including green lacewing, predatory mites, and various species of lady bird beetles, as well as big-eyed bugs, minute pirate bugs, and predatory thrips, which usually control mite outbreak. Dormant horticultural oils and insecticidal soaps can both help control spider mite outbreaks. Neem-based biological insecticides are also labeled for controlling mite on pear. Codling moth. The codling moth is a small, distinct gray adult moth that flies mostly at night, so often goes unseen. Presence of frass at stem or calyx end of the fruit indicate larval feeding inside the fruit. Relatively cold regions may have one generation, while in warmest apple growing areas, the codling moth may pass through 2 to 3 generations per season. If present and not controlled, can become a key pest capable of inflicting serious economic loss. Control. Among the most effective non-toxic controls for codling moth is the mating disruption using pheromones. By releasing quantities of these pheromones into the orchard, the grower can confuse, disturb the moth's mating cycle. An aerosol dispenser, nicknamed the puffer, which uses a timer to periodically spray pheromone into the orchard air, is an effective dispensing method. The Trichogramma wasp is increasingly used in US orchards as a biological control organism against codling moth. Sanitation and cultural practices can help reduce the codling moth. In smaller orchards, codling moth larvae can also be intercepted with a corrugated cardboard wrap as they descend the trunk to pupate. Diseases and management. Fire blight. Named for the scorched appearance of infected leaves, the fire blight is a destructive bacterial disease found on apple, pears, and other members of rose family. The disease enters the tree at the tips of the branches and then travels down the stems, causing dieback. It attacks soft, new growth first, so you would notice dieback at the top of the plant. Most infected leaves and branch tips will rapidly turn brown or black. The leaves die but do not drop off. Trees will also develop reddish water soaked lesions on the bark